everyone, my name is Lumi, and this is 100 Days of Stardew Valley. Well, more like 50 days, since I lost the first half of the footage, but I'll do my best to summarize. You could also head over to my TikTok to watch the first 50 days, but come right back after please. So here are all the things I managed to get done in spring and summer. Firstly, I made over 100k gold, and made a ton of progress on my skills. I've also been working on buttering up Sam. He is certainly the man for me. Here's a little bit of what the farm looks like right now. I have a barn that I have yet to fill with cows because I'm incredibly broke, and a coop full of chickens that I named Cement, Forklift, Glue Stick, and Windex. I've also made some decent community center progress, finishing the boiler room and on my way to completion for the rest of the bundles. Now that we got that out of the way, let's continue on to the next 50 days. It was day 51 and I woke up bright and early ready to start the day. I am always slacking when it comes to fishing in Stardew. So I headed over to Willie's to purchase the iridium rod. Haley told me that I was all dirty and that really hurt my feelings. So I headed to the bathhouse to scrub off all my dirt, then completely defeated the purpose of my bath by fishing for trash in this little pond. On day 52, I wanted to test out my new rod on actual fish, so I used this beach totem and spent the entire day fishing. I swear, every single time I see bubbles when fishing, they disappear the moment I cast into them. So that's just unfortunate. On the morning of day 53, the TV told me that there would be a storm the next day, so I made some lightning rods to prepare, then I headed straight to the mines. I'd been hard struggling in the mines ever since I hit level 80, so I didn't intend to make huge progress in this mines run. I thought I'd make it down just a few levels, but I was surprisingly lucky with ladders and surprisingly made it all the way down to the bottom. I got the skull key and I knew that I needed to work towards the vault bundle so I could go to the skull cavern. On day 54, I finally took my long-awaited visit to the hat mouse and I got this flower crown. Huge shout out to the mod creator Koi for these hats because I feel so pretty. After spicing up my wardrobe, I headed to Robin's and I bought my very first barn so that I could start making some progress on the animal bundle. I hit level 8 farming that night, which meant I could finally start making my keg empire. It was nearing the end of summer and naturally I absolutely hated the way my farm looked. So I spent day 55 destroying my crops and paths, and then I made a new area for my crops on the last day of summer, which I ended up really liking the look of. I went for somewhat of an inconvenient shape, but aesthetic over efficiency is the only way to live. The season ended with the beautiful dance of the moonlight jellies. I woke up the next day to the fresh breeze of fall, my absolute favorite Stardew season, and I sadly found out the hard way that land doesn't stay hoed when the season changes without old crops still being there. I thought I would have a leg up going into fall, but instead I lost all of the fertilizer that I crafted and had to shamefully re-prepare the land. But I swallowed my pride and headed to Pierre's to buy the community center crops, and then the big money maker, a bunch of cranberries. I then spent the rest of the day planting and watering my new crops. I spent the entirety of day 58 in the mines since I was running low on ores. Mining is probably my favorite activity, so I have no problem resetting the floors over and over again to grind iron and copper. I got my first prismatic shard on floor 41 from this dust sprite, which is absolutely crazy since it's only a 0.05% chance that these little guys could drop them. Day 59 started with a dirty surprise when I got this trash hat when I was rummaging through the garbage, and I was sure Haley would be very happy about that. Then I donated a bunch of stuff to the museum and the community center, finishing off the river fish, the exotic foraging, and the construction bundles. And on day 61, Marnie was actually doing her job for once, so I finally bought 2 cows that I creatively named Burger and Rat. Then I mindlessly fished for the remainder of the day, not expecting any type of reward, until I got this dino egg in a chest, which meant I needed to upgrade my coop ASAP so I could hatch it. It was downpouring on day 62, so it was time to finally catch some big boy fall fish. I started with the fall legendary fish, the angler. The angler is regarded as one of the easier legendary fish to catch, and I am no stranger to the legendaries. He was bouncing around a little bit, but it wasn't much of a challenge for me, and I managed to catch this bad boy on my very first shot. Then I caught both a walleye and an eel for the community center. My cranberries were ready on day 64 and I had so much to harvest. I decided to sell the gold and silver quality cranberries and keep a few of the normal quality ones to pop them in my kegs. And then I headed to town to check the special order board, choosing the prismatic jelly quest as my very first one. I spent some time cycling through floors 95 to 115, and it was apparently a good luck day, but I was not feeling magically delicious because I couldn't find the rainbow slime and ended up dying on floor 115. And then I died again the next day. I finally found it on day 67, but god damn did it take so long to kill. My fingers were hurting from clicking my mouse so many times. Day 68 was the day of reckoning. I finally had enough gold to repair the bus. Or so I thought. I was just short of 10k, so I sprinted to Pierre's to get the remainder of the money and dumped my gold into the vault, unlocking the desert. So even though the spirits were unpleased on day 69, I waited for Pam to assume usefulness and bought a bus ride to the desert. The first thing I did was procure the galaxy sword from the prismatic shard that the dust sprite graciously gifted me. Then I said hello to best girl Sandy and decided I was too scared to take on the skull caverns just yet, so I just fished for the specialty fish bundle. I also completely forgot how annoying the scorpion carp is. Here's it absolutely kicking my ass. On day 70, I finally got the coop upgrade I've been waiting for both some ducks and to hatch my dino egg. I was slacking in the animal department, so I went to Marnie's to grab some more cows, which I named Sneeze and Hair. Then I snuck into her room to grab Mayor Lewis's undies and decided it was time for some new styling. So I made perfect use of Emily's sewing machine and asked Mayor Lewis if he liked my outfit. He did. My notes for day 71 literally just say, hell yeah, baby skull caverns. I wanted to go in with a bang for my first run, and I literally did that. I wanted to try to make it down as far as I possibly could, just to show off my skills. I actually didn't have too bad of a time down in the caverns, a stark contrast from my usual experience. Although I usually go down there with nothing but a pickaxe and like probably the steel sword or something. And in this save I was lucky to get that prismatic shard so early, so my sword actually damages enemies, and it was a plus that I brought some buffing food and bombs with me. I made it down to level 48, which I don't think is too bad for my very first run, but next time I would definitely come in swinging harder because I really wanted to make it down to level 100. Day 72 is the Stardew Valley Fair, which is my favorite event by far. I'm super competitive, so just like the egg hunt, my Grange display needed to win. And naturally, it did. The odds in the wheel game are rigged in Green's favor, making it a 75% chance it lands on Green. So if you want to quickly buy out the shop, you want to bet all of your coins on Green. I did also play the other games, my favorite probably being the slingshot game, even if I'm god-awful at it. And I ate all the burgers that Gus made. Day 73 was a short one, but my coop was upgraded, so I popped my little dino egg into the incubator and started to decorate the area around my coop, which I think is coming along pretty good. And day 75 was really eventful, starting with another peaceful cranberry harvest. I also reached 8 hearts with Sam, so I bought this bouquet at Pierre's and worked up the courage to ask him to be my man, to which he said absolutely, I'm just that cute. Then I begrudgingly stopped by Clint's to make him be useful for a change and purchased a steel pickaxe, then right over to Robin's to upgrade my barn, and lastly I picked up Willie's bug meat quest and spent the rest of the day grinding some bug guts. I must have not been paying close attention in the mines, because when I got home I found this ancient seed in my inventory, so that perfectly wrapped up this jam-packed day. On the morning of day 76, I bought my first 2 ducks from Marnie, little stop sign and cat, and spent the rest of the day finishing up the bug meat quest, and that took way longer than it should have. I just refreshed floor 20 over and over again and hoped a big horde of little bugs would spawn. Marnie must be getting sick of me, because the next day I went back and I got some goats from her. Then I spent some time gathering some stone in the mines and rocked out at my baby's concert. On day 78, I grew tired of all the manual labor, because who the hell wants to do that? So instead of hacking away, I crafted these bombs and I absolutely lit up the entire left half of my farm. I got enough wood to hold me over for a very long time, and set up the land for future decorations and some crops. Then I scooped up my sweet gemberry on day 81, and headed to the desert for my second Skull Caverns run. Once again, I was properly equipped and was ready to grind through these mines. I found a few cool things, like these iridium bars on this treasure floor, and a few dino-infested floors. With the rate I was going, I knew I was on track to make it down to level 100, and maybe even further past it if I was lucky. But the most tragic, heart-wrenching thing happened when I went to chomp down on some eggs. I was too close to the exit and accidentally left the caverns, so I stood there in silence for a good few minutes, contemplating my entire existence. On day 82, I was still salty about the egg incident, so after giving my sweet gemberry to this little dude in the secret woods, and receiving my star drop, I played Junimo Kart to blow off some steam. In hindsight, it wasn't my best idea because I'm actually terrible at this game. I couldn't even get past the first level. I just kept on falling straight off. Marnie visited me first thing on day 83 asking for a cave carrot for her animals, so I guess I had to comply. But first I realized that my keg empire was getting too big, and I needed a shed to keep the farm looking nice. So I dropped off the cave carrot and then headed straight to Robin's, placing a shed right across from my barn. Then I went mining while I was waiting for the Spirits Eve festival to start. At the spooky festival, I bought at the shop and found Sam deep in the spooky maze. And I also found this golden pumpkin, which I guess is pretty cool too, but I dropped it in the shipping bin as soon as I got home. Day 84 was sadly the last day of fall, and after doing some chores around the farm, I walked around the valley foraging and savoring the beautiful fall scenery. But I didn't forget to butter up my man along the way. I woke up on day 85, which just so happened to be the first day of winter, and wondered, what the hell am I supposed to do now? So I just did my normal chores, and I noticed that my dino had finally hatched. So I named him Ferb and decided to be bold and go for the winter legendary fish on the first day of winter. The glacier fish is the legendary that I have the most trouble with. It's super bouncy and hard to keep track of, but third time is always a charm because I caught it on my 3rd attempt. On the morning of day 87, I decided I would enter the season of giving, since I'd only been spoiling Sam with gifts. So I gave Linus a gift for his birthday, and then got my first secret note in the secret woods. Ironic. And on day 88, I took on the seemingly impossible task of marrying Sam before the 100 days is over, which meant I needed a rain totem to get the mermaid's pendant, and I needed to hit level 9 foraging for the recipe. So I quickly milked my goats and got the last item I needed for the animal bundle, which meant I could finally unlock the greenhouse. I also finished the foraging bundle and unlocked the quarry. Then I spent the rest of the day working on my foraging skill. I wanted to get some crops going in the greenhouse, but it was an iridium luck day, so Skull Caverns it is, baby. I ate this lucky lunch I got from the saloon and headed down into the caverns, where I got this auto grabber from a treasure floor and made it swiftly down to level 100. Once again, 3rd time's a charm. On day 90, I finally had 150 pieces of hardwood, so I went to Robin's and I got the final house upgrade. Then over to Sandy's to buy some starfruit seeds and set up everything in my greenhouse, including my very first ancient seed. On day 91, I put Ferb's brother in the incubator and this train passed through the valley, which gave me literally only a single piece of coal. Day 92 was the Festival of the Ice, and I won by being a menace and fishing in Willie's pond. My house upgrade was ready in the morning of day 93, and I spent my time transferring my stuff to my new chest area and decorating it a bit until I accidentally teleported to the mountains trying to put this warp totem on a sign. But that got me that really weird Linus cutscene that gives you wild bait. Then on day 94, I bought another shed purely just for the satisfaction of symmetry, then waited for this emo boy to leave his lair so I could bless him on his birthday. And by some miracle, I hit level 9 foraging on day 98, which means I could ask Sam to be my husband, and he better say yes. I deforested the entire valley for him, except the rain totem didn't work, so I tried one more time and prayed to Yoba. Then I went to the night market, and the traveling cart was selling this red cabbage seed on day 99. Such unfortunate timing. Then I got this cute hat and a pearl from the mermaid before descending into the depths to fish. And finally, day 100 was a bright and sunny day, which meant my plan to get married failed, so I spent the day decorating my sorrows away and the night fishing at the market. And that is the end of 100 days. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to head over to my TikTok to watch the first 50 days. And for the last time, I headed off to bed.